Well, let's do story time, huh? Since the shovel broke down, I didn't get to do it at home or at work. We're gonna have to do it on the way home, so. Anyways, a few years back, I answered an ad for a yarder engineer. And a guy asked me, he's like, you know how to run a Skagit swing yarder? And I said, well, I had never ran a Skagit swing yarder. I ran a swing yarder, but yarder's a yarder. If it's got drums and frictions, I can run it. One thing that I wholeheartedly believe in is do not bullshit about your experience, because they're gonna know within just a few hours anyways. So anyways, this guy hires me and we drive down to this job. It turns out it's a 777 Skagit swing yarder. The biggest, ugliest, oldest. Oh my God, this thing was. So the guy that was chasing had actually been running the yarder, but didn't want to. He wanted to go back to chasing. So he gets it fired up, gets a couple of turns, and I said, well, if I stand there talking to the boss, and I said, well, if I'm going to run that thing, I'm going to run it. And he says, oh, okay. He goes, most of the time the guys, you know, just hang out on the steps or something and watch. I forget the guy's name. And for a couple of days. And I'm like, no, best way to know if I'm going to run that thing, I'm going to get in it and run it. So, you know, every yarder I'd ever worked on had a dash with the hand frictions and brakes, you know, and foot brakes and whatnot. This one didn't have a dash. It had some foot brakes and a lever here, and then one on your knee. And so the guy showed me what they were. And it actually turned out to be really simple. The one over here was the pulled it towards you, went ahead on the skid line, threw it in the middle for slack, and then you know, put the transmission in reverse to reverse the drum off if you needed to. And then the one over here was a throttle, when you'd put your knee against it, and then go side to side on the same stick that pulled the skid line in to swing. So no big deal. I jump right in it and we start yarding. Well, any of you that have watched my prior videos when I'm running yarder, I'm a throttle jockey. You know, I know how to run yarder, and I'm gonna run it fast. So, pretty close to the end of the first day, the boss jumps up there and he says, you know, I've owned this thing for how many ever years, and I've had X amount of yarder engineers, but he said, I've never had one guy just get right on it and run it. He said, everybody's always spent, you know, at least one day watching the other guy running it. So he said, you're going to get top dollar around this outfit. Right on. Well, at this time, it was probably, I don't know, 12 years ago or so. They were paying $17 to $19, $20 for an exceptionally good yarder engineer. So I figured, you know, at least 17. So a couple days go by and I asked the chaser, you know, just to be curious. I was like, hey, you know, what is he paying to pick cotton around this outfit? And he goes, well, he was paying me 17 to run that thing, but I can guarantee you he's going to give you more, because he said, you're a damn good yarder engineer. Right on. So a few more days go by and payday's coming up on us. So I said, hey, I haven't filled out any paperwork, no W-2 or nothing like that. And the guy goes, well, if it's all right, he goes, why don't we just keep this, you know, on the DL? And I'm like, heck yeah, that's fine with me. You know, I could go without all that BS for a little while. So payday comes, and you got to go find the guy. He doesn't just bring the checks to you or nothing. And he's got just a regular checkbook like me or you would, and he's writing out these checks. And immediately I knew it was going to be a problem. You know, it's like 7:30 on a Friday night, and he's handwriting your payroll check. if you ain't got a bank account, you're gonna have trouble cashing it. So he gives it to me, he sticks it in an envelope and gives it to me. No big deal. I take off down the road and I get home and didn't even think about it because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to get it cashed. So I waited till the next morning, got up, was gonna run down to the bank and cash it, and I open up this envelope, and I'll be damned that that SOB wasn't paying me $11 an hour. And I'm like, greenhorn choker setters are getting 14 and 15. So the wife says, well, are you going to cash it? And I said, hell no, because if I cash it, that means I agree to it. So Monday morning, I drive down to where we're meeting the crummy, and this guy, the owner, would show up there every day too. And I said, hey, we got an issue. And he says, oh yeah, what's that? I go, you're paying me $11 an hour. Yeah, that's what I can afford. I said, well, if that's all you can afford to pay me to run yarder, you can have it back. You need it more than I do. What the heck's that supposed to mean? I go, I can go out and set chokers for $14, $15 an hour. I sure as hell, and it was in the middle of the winter, sure as hell ain't gonna set in this goddamn yarder with no heater and freeze my ass off for $11 an hour. So we get into a pretty good argument, and he writes me another check for $13 an hour. Needless to say, I drive off, but I can say that I have ran a 777 Skagit swing yarder, and it was a hunk of crap.